What's up guys, this is Jalan and today we are in Residensi Jalan Jubilee, a prima project in KL City Centre itself. Exciting, let's go! Hey guys, today it's a project from the audience, so thank you very much. This is a middle income product where your joint income in the family, right, husband and wife lah, it's around 2,500 to 15,000. Only you are qualified to buy it, and this is a government initiative by the previous administration lah. And before we move on further, right, so the government has always been pushing affordable housing, but how exactly do they do it, right? A lot of people will think that construction, I will just give very little, I will give very lousy quality, I will just cut all the costs from there. Actually, not really, because as we mentioned before in the channel, the main cost for a development like this consisting of three components. Number one, land cost. Number two, construction cost. Number three, development cost, and then their profit. So what they can actually manage is to reduce profit, the easiest one, and then to actually reduce construction costs by not putting a lot of very fancy materials. Then in terms of development cost, because it's a government initiative, they usually partner with developers such as this one. So this is going to be the main product that a developer is going to build, right, to be selling at a very premium price. But as a requirement by the authorities, right, you need to build a certain quota of prima housing before you are eligible to build this. Yeah, so they make it into a prerequisite for property developers to comply before getting their properties done up and sell. So that is one of the burdens that property developers now have to do, but for the welfare of the rakyat, yeah, that was the previous direction. Last of all would be land costs, because again they are partnering with the private developers. If you understand town planning, in a particular town there will be areas that are negative, there are more areas that are more prime. So negative spaces, which means like they put in all the pylons, sewage treatment plants, surrounding them will be public buildings like the bomba, the police, the affordable houses, the schools. Only you put the prime offices and residential in the prime areas. In this area itself, if you look into the address of Jalan Lok Yu, and in the same frame you get to see KLCC, TRX, and in the stone throw away, not really stone throw but within 1 kilometer here, right, you have the Fraser's Business Park, you have Mallory, you have all the big commerce areas, which is going to result in a lot of job opportunities. So that's going to translate into your rental returns. However, if you look into the micro scale around here, you'll get to see like those old shop houses where downstairs is shop, upstairs are houses, and it's going to be a very blue collar setting. And the main concern here will be the pagoda structure. So every time when I see a pagoda, right, it only means one thing, cemetery. To be next to a cemetery, will it be negative to the property price or not? Well, that depends. With or without a cemetery, of course people want to stay without the cemetery, but a land next to a cemetery in the heart of KL City, or a land which is like a very far away in the suburbs, which one would you prefer? So I think there's still demand for prime lands. They are just losing out a little bit in terms of the micro setting, because these are inherited like 50-60 years already in the history. But that's a long intro. I'm now still waiting for the audience to reach. You can see it's a mixed development. Okay, coming up from the lift lobby, you can see it's very bright. There are 23 units, right, in one floor and serviced by 6 lifts and 1 fire bomba stretcher lift. It feels good where you have the voids here, then you have the open air, cross ventilation and things like that. That's why it's very bright, and you can look, that's already the city centre, like Maruri side, right? Then this side is the cemetery side. My concerns will only be the waters around here. So I think because the scope of the property developer is only until this line, so this is like out of their scope, so they can't really do anything about it. And looking at the lift lobby, it's very wide and it's pretty tiny, you see. No plaster ceiling, nothing fancy, right? And all the utilities are just next to it. Okay guys, going into the unit, you have a foyer, okay? And this will be the unit. So this is the small room in the front where it's actually looking towards the airwell, and I like how big the airwell is. You like from distance from unit to unit, right? Whew. Okay. A number of switches, 2 number of switches. Okay, they save up the skirting. They use normal tiles, smaller size tiles. Fan points, light points. Okay, then going out. This will be your kitchen, then your dining and living, and it's so bright. Okay, before we move on further, so this is the layout, and this is where you go in a unit. There's a bedroom 1 here, kitchen. Then you also have a yard here, bedroom 2, shared toilet here. Right, then you have the master bedroom and the master bath here. That's actually 8,005 in width and 12 meters in length. So the first thing that I like, right, that you see this 8.5 meters, right, is divided half. It means that the living space has an incredible width. So you look at this kitchen, right, you can actually put an L, then your fridge is actually here, and it's very, very workable, right? Then you have the living space looking towards TRX, KLCC, and the city center already. Amazing, right? This is a 1037 square feet, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom unit lah. So it's located along Jalan, as we mentioned, and it's pretty remarkable. You can see this view, and this balcony is like no joke. It's like a 1.5 meters balcony. The only setback that I've noticed so far, right, it's the immediate lah. So this land, right, is taken over by the developer. So all these used to be houses. They are redeveloping the land by offering them to move somewhere else. Then they will all amalgamate the land again to be one piece of land, to be another high-rise now. So maybe in the near future, 10 years down the road, there won't be views like this anymore, because as the city landscape change, the requirement change, so old towns and old areas like this one, all will need to then be redeveloped. Okay, so that's Penang Wholesale City. You will have the school there, Zhongguo School, and this is the main highway towards Chilas, and that's the main highway towards KL. I really appreciate again the 4 meters wide living space lah. And let's check out the bedroom. So it's in a very conventional layout, right? You have your master bedroom here, where you can put your bed. It's very wide, and the ceiling height standard 2.8. One compliment to be given is the tidiness of the structural elements that I really like. Okay, and this is the master bathroom. Okay, full height wall tiles, nice. Shower, soap holder also got, tissue holder also got, right? Bidet. They give you Johnson Swiss. Nice. Once again, in the element of cost saving, right, they will always use windows for natural ventilation instead of mechanical ventilation. So sometimes when we put this bathroom over to this side, right, then this gives the master bedroom more view, but it's just not as cost effective. So what they do, they just give less glazing, because aluminium and glazing is also a huge chunk of cost. Bricks and mortar are actually cheaper than aluminium and glazing. Moving on to the second bedroom, very basic, and the window height is a bit taller, right? And this will be connected to your yard. And if you look at my hair, right, there's actually breeze coming out from the air well already. And it's mostly because of the entire topography of the land itself. So like this is one of the highest tower currently in this 1 kilometer radius, just because it's located in a very old address. And this is where all you have the auntie, uncle, hey, Uncle Lim, Uncle D, all stay, and everybody know everybody, right? So next to the kitchen, this side you have your yard. And it's ready for you to put your washing machine, your water inlet, your outlet, your electrical points. And again, compliments to the team, where you can see everything is so tidy here. This is the shared bathroom, and again, they are giving you Johnson Swiss full height tiles. Even you even have a space for you to put your shampoos and stuff. The mirror, I think it's awesome. It's very complete. Here I want to explain what is design cost, what is construction and material cost. Sometimes people associate cheap products with poor design layouts and things like that. That's not really the case. Design doesn't really cost a lot of money. because it's just lines on paper. But in a middle range product like this, we can really see tidiness of elements such as the MEP, mechanical, the water, the electrical, the switches, everything is all very well placed and well built. Low cost doesn't mean poor build qualities, right? It's just cheaper materials. Number one is the smaller size tiles. Instead of a 1 meter tile, this one is a very standard 1.5 feet tile, which is easily available, hence it saves cost. Number two, they remove the skirting. It's not directly functional, right? It's just a nice to have kind of thing, so they take it out. In the kitchen, instead of a full height wall tiles, they actually put up to 1.5 meters. So above that will be all your kitchen cabinet already. So it's again not necessarily a requirement or a need, so they take that out. They don't use mechanical ventilation because it incurs a lot of cost in terms of installation as well. So they sacrifice the master bedroom view. Instead of putting the toilet inwards where they can then have a great view of the surrounding, instead they actually put it close to the facade so they can have natural ventilation. Then you have a balcony, it's awesome. Again, they use smaller size tiles and they use metal handrail instead of a glass handrail. So those are the steps taken to reduce construction costs by making the right decisions on materials. But in terms of layout, space, design, right, I think it's awesome. Even the build quality, I'm so impressed. So I think there was a request for me to test. So this is the noise with the doors open, and this is the noise with the balcony door closed. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's all. Let's go to the facilities deck. This is the refuse room, as reminded by the audience. There you have it. Natural ventilated, very nice. With full height wall tiles, wow. And the garbage room is actually located in the corner of the lift lobby. It's actually hidden away from the lift lobby. It faces open air ventilation, so I think smell wise it's not going to affect anybody. You still have garden spaces like this. Wow. We are now in the facility deck, and basically, like we mentioned, we just only want functional items, right? So swimming pool, nothing fancy, just straight lines, linear forms, right? And you have the multi-purpose room next to it. Still possible to enjoy poolside party. And what personally I really appreciate is the landscape. It's pretty lush, and because that addresses garden units that is located in the same floor with the facilities. This one actually indirectly forms that privacy. And the landscape choices, right, in order to reduce maintenance costs, they use species like this, right, that doesn't require a lot of maintenance. For your information, it's next to a river and it's actually adjacent to a row of low-cost housing, and that would be the cemetery place already lah. And next to it will be all the low-cost KBKT housings lah. So please be informed in the views here because it's pretty extreme lah. One side you have TRX, one side you have quarters. I think that's all. It's now time for Sean take 3 on 3. Two things I really like. Number one, definitely the location. It is next to Jalan Lok Yew, where one side you get to go to TRX, Jalan Tun Razak already, and the other side you actually Maluri. And it's in a part where it's a very community-based living lah. So this is a very old address. Number two would actually be the functional things within the unit. It's 1,000 over square feet, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, pretty standard. But you get a living room that is so wide. Just to save costs, they discounted on all the materials. Instead of very fancy 900mm tiles that look super good on your unit, they use 450 tiles. In balcony, they use even smaller one. Glass railing they don't want to use, they use metal railings. You still have a yard, you still have awesome structural designs. The only drastic change will be in the master bedroom, where if you were to put the toilet in and you use a mechanical ventilation, then your master bedroom will have amazing view. And in the facility deck as well, again, very function focused, where you get community hall next to the pool that you can actually do laps. Nothing fancy, you don't have the water play lah, you don't have the amazing structure for you to take selfies lah, all those don't have lah. Last of all, I like the floor layout. Surprisingly, 23 units, with 6 lifts and 1 stretcher lift, right, it feels very, very open. They have a very, very big area of void in between buildings that encourages a lot of cross ventilation. And then they put all the services instead of a room. Now they actually just open up. If not, you need to build another wall just to conceal and make it look good, right? So looking good is not the priority. Functionality is priority. 3 things I have concerns about. Number 1 would be everything in the micro setting. You have the squatters, you have the cemetery land. The entrance to this space is not exactly the best because infrastructure wise it's all restricted by existing civilization here. Number 2, which is the adjacent land. They clear off the existing dwellers and now there's going to be another new tower, I guess. So I think the view for this particular unit is gone, but it can be seen as an initiative to actually change the setting around this area. So this is where you can really see, right, redevelopment is taking place already. Last of all, the security, it's really like in the gate and the front door only. It's whether you think it's functional or not. If there's a lobby where there's a proper entrance to the lift lobby instead of just a cart, right, and the security guards are just like that lor. But also you think of it, security cost is one of the major costs for maintenance. So that's all for this episode. In conclusion, I've learned a lot. Medium range, right, doesn't mean bad design, doesn't mean bad quality. Just that if you consider the 3 cost pillars, right, this is how they actually make this product a little bit more affordable. So shout out to the owners, congratulations on your purchase. Thank you very much for sharing this with all of us in the channel, and I really do like this episode though. So if you really like this video, like it, share it, and even subscribe for more information like this. Until next time, this is Sean Tan. Ciao.